So on to assembling the paddle wheel for the paddle boat. First I'm going to mark the center of my cork. That is where we are going to jam the shaft of the motor into the cork. You don't even have to drill it, it's pretty soft. It'll go in pretty easily. And I keep on testing it just to make sure we're still going counterclockwise. Now I'm going to cut some shallow slots about that deep into the cork using my cardboard cutter. I don't want to go too deep or I'm going to end up cutting the cork in half. So just kind of getting past the surface of that cork. With that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the plastic tubes in half, and I'm going to cut small pieces off of that, about the width of the opening in the paddle boat. You want to be a little bit narrower for that because it has to spin within that opening. So if you cut that off, bend it in half, and then cut it, you're going to have two nice paddles that'll fit nicely into the slot of those corks, into those slots. You'll need to work those kind of hard to get them into the slots, but once they're in there, they're pretty tight. You're going to notice how the curves of the plastic align with the cork. The rotation going counterclockwise, and the plastic is going to basically scoop water as it rotates. Now that it fits into the opening of the foam, I'm going to just make sure that I've got things secured well. So I'm going to add some hot glue to the edges of the paddle. Notice I'm using a hot glue gun here. I'm going to change that later on in the project. Little test, the paddle is turning fine on the motor. I'm going to add a bit of hot glue right to the cork so that it stays firmly on the shaft of the motor. Then I can trim the plastic. Sometimes that plastic's going to smack against the casing of the motor, so go right ahead and trim it away. How wide you make these paddles, how long you make these paddles is all a matter of experimentation. Even if you want to change the curves of the paddles, you can do that. I'm going to end up just gluing the motor to the foam. The paddles are long enough that they stick down below the edge of the bottom of the foam. So I'm just going to glue it on top. Notice here I am going to change to a low temp glue gun so that I can hold everything in place. The paddle is complete. Let's move on to assembling the boat.